Summer not only brings warmer weather to Michigan, it also brings big-name artists for spectacular concerts. And coming to the D this June are Grammy Award winners David Foster and Chris Bodie, and they'll be joined by featured guest Katharine McPhee. David and Katharine are joining us right now. Thank you so much for joining us for Live in the D.
Hi, we're happy to be here.
Happy to be here, and yeah, we're sorry about Chris. He got sick last night, and he's not flaky at all. He would have been here if he could have been.
Of course he would. We completely understand. But David, let's start with you. This tour merges two musical genres, jazz and pop. What was the inspiration behind that combination?
Well, truthfully, Chris and I have had a bromance for many, many years, so it was only natural that we would make music together as well. We hang out a lot. We don't always talk about music, but we always knew that there was something there that we could do, and we've tested it out a couple of times. We did a show in Thailand together with Kat, and in Florida together, and it really worked well. He's so great at every genre, even though he's a jazz musician, but he understands every genre of music, and it's just amazing.
That's really cool. Now, Katharine, you are the featured guest on the tour, a tour with your husband, David. So talk to us about that dynamic, because a lot of people, when they're performing artists, spend time away from their spouses and family, but you guys get to experience the tour together.
Oh, lucky us.
Oh, be nice.
I'm having fun. You know, I am the special guest, the featured guest. That means I get to come out there with just for a few moments and, you know, sprinkle a little magic and then leave it to the Chris and David show. But, you know, I've obviously known David for a very long time. We met when I was a contestant on American Idol
20 years ago.
20 years ago. And from David, I met lots of amazing people, toured with lots of amazing people, Andrea Bocelli, and Chris Bodie is one of them. So I did one of his first PBS specials that he ever did. I was featured in that. So it's kind of fun for us all these years later, now that we're a married couple, which was not foreseen in the future when we first met.
I saw it.
You certainly did. You made it sort of known that you saw it back then. But we didn't really think this would ever come to be. And certainly when we got married, we did not think that this would be like part of our, you know, marital plans. Like, well, you know, we'll get on the road and we'll tour together. But it's worked out. And we're looking forward to having a little switch up in our set, because we're now obviously having Chris and David do a whole thing together. And they're both so unique in the way that they speak to an audience, entertain an audience, but they have similar styles, both very funny. David a little bit more irreverent than Chris is, but both very smooth. And we're looking forward to melding, as we said earlier, the two styles together.
Think of it as you have two husbands on the road now. Okay?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Good. Even more entertaining.
You guys have done shows together, you and Chris, David. But now, if I understand this correctly, this is the first time you guys are touring together. How will that work?
I think that it's just we're going to blend everything that we each know about music. Chris, he's a jazz musician, quote unquote, but he knows so much about a lot of genres of music, which is why we love him, and that's why people love him as well. That's why he has such a great following.
Well, I'll step in too. He's an amazing showman. Both of them are equally great musicians, very different musician styles, but their showmanship is so good. Like Chris is really, one of my favorite things to do in December is he has this residency at the Blue Note in New York City. And so it's just like an incredible night of music where you go and see his show. Every night it's different. And so, like, just between David and Chris, the way that they talk to an audience, engage with an audience, it really is kind of a very personal experience with them on stage.
But now, David, the performance here is June 21st at the Detroit Opera House. What's your message to Detroiters about what they can expect at the show?
First of all, we love Detroit. We played there before and separately and together, and we love the city. We think it's really amazing.
The audiences are great.
The audiences are great, very musical. Of course, you birthed Motown, for God's sakes. I mean, like, what more do you have to say about the city than that? I think you could just expect the unexpected. You know, I'm very irreverent. Chris is very polished. We're going to get into some brawls on stage.
My wife is funny as hell.
Yeah, she is.
You guys are absolutely amazing together. David and Katharine, thank you again so much for joining us on Live in the D.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you in Detroit.
Thank you. Well, if you're interested in buying tickets to the concert, just visit davidfoster.com or chrisbode.com. Once again, it's at the Detroit Opera House on June 21st.